Welcome to Thriving One, episode 5. Mo Thriving Tips. I'll put the sign away so I don't knock it down. Remember last time we did Thriving Tendencies, and I'm put some more in here even. We're going to do some more of those shortly. First, I want to do the thriving tip specific to today. This is the thriving tip. Take out your big cheap tablet and your crayon if you want to write it down and not have to rewind nothing. I've heard a lot of people complain that their life is hard, and certainly every life has some hard parts. Lots of the people who fuss about life being hard say they got a lot of baggage. Now when they're talking about baggage, they're just talking about baggage that sucks. Their baggage is pain and anger and sadness and failure and guilt. Try packing some better baggage. Pack in your bag some cherished moments, some belly laughs, some times where people displayed kindness and generosity, you had some success, or even better, those times when you got a good break that you didn't deserve. Put those in your bag. Carry those around with you. Try to look at them real frequently. Oh, let's say like when the sun comes up every day. Now carrying that good baggage and reviewing it regularly won't make your pain and the scars from your old pains go away. But it will remind you that your whole life is not just pain and scars. Now we're going to get off into these tendencies. Please remember, not every thriving person has all of these tendencies. They're just common parts of different thrivers' recipes. We're going to do these again for 10 minutes. You may have noticed last time, and you may not have. This time, please notice that as I talk about these things, I would almost guarantee you that you're already doing some of them. You already have some of these qualities. So here goes the 10 minutes. Draw out the first winner. And the winner is chronic optimism. Now, I don't confuse optimism with being naive. Being naive is you just so ignorant you don't know what the hell's going on or what might be coming. Optimism doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. Optimism just means whatever's coming, part of what's coming is going to be good and worthwhile and enjoyable. One. See, when we get lots of followers, more than just you 8 people, okay, we'll have a lovely assistant doing this. Okay, next. Oh, thriving people hand out compliments. When your friends are good to you, point it out to them. When they serve you a good meal, thank them for it. Tell them how good it was. One of the people who comes here, and there's 2 people who come here to help me, Helen and her assistant Richard. But Richard is one hell of a cook. We have little poker games. Richard will feed enough food for the 7th fleet and feed it to us, and he could be a chef if he could figure out how to get a hairnet on. But don't just compliment others, compliment yourself. When you've done a nice piece of work, when you've done a good thing, point that out to yourself. I was doing that in front of a grouchy person one time. They said, "Oh, you're just going to wear your arm out patting yourself on the back." And I said, "I might, but I'm going to do it well." Next, somebody forgot to set the clock. Okay, we started at 1 o'clock. We still got 7 minutes. Thrivers try to eliminate 3 words from their daily behavior: hurry, scurry, and worry. There are very few things in life that are accomplished better by doing them really fast. Scurrying, for me, increases my chance of falling down. And as my TV reminds me regularly in the commercials for the walkers, falls are the leading cause of injury for people as old as me. Worry. Couple of sayings about worry. One is, don't tell me worry doesn't work. Most of the things I worry about never happen. And the other one, I had a lady I worked with once as a therapist. She had a lot of stuff going on with OCD, but the worry was the major symptom. And we worked together for a little while, and she really got a handle on that. And she made me one of these little embroidery deals, you know, with the little hoop and the stitching. And it was a little guy rocking in a rocking chair, and what the caption was worrying is like rocking in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but you ain't going nowhere. I like that one. Uh-oh. Are we doing these too fast? I don't think so. Why do I pull them all out upside down? Thriving people are not compelled to solve other people's problems. Doesn't mean we don't help other folks out. We just don't own their problems. I remember one time I had some students who did internship with me. Internship is the one of the few allowable forms of slavery. And one of the students said to me at the end of the day, you know, you come in here bouncing and smiling and all that stuff and being playful, and at the end of the day you're the same way. How do you keep your energy up dealing with all these problems? And I said, well, I just remember that the problems aren't mine. The problems are theirs. It also helps that as a therapist, a person gets paid whether the patient gets better or not. You can't get away with that crap as a roofer or a plumber. No, that stuff better work. Moving right along. This is one of my very favorites. Thriving people almost never interrupt. That's one of the very nice things about the podcast. There's nobody here to interrupt me, and I like that. When people interrupt, very frequently, what that means is they're really afraid of what the other person is going to say next, so they need to talk over them. I think I said in one of the previous episodes, when more than one person's talking, less than one person's listening. God, I'm good at this. Hey, we're at 6 minutes. I say that for you people with short attention spans. I could do this for like 3 or 4 hours, but all you people are going to be sleeping and your computers are going to run out of battery. Here's a nice one. I don't always do this one perfect. Okay, I don't always do this one at all. Thriving people tend to have good manners. They say silly things like please and thank you. They're considerate of other people's feelings, and their behaviors are gracious. See, I told you I didn't do that all the time. I think this is one of the things that's very important in our daily interactions with other humans, and it's one of the ways people wage peace. I want to do a whole series of stuff on waging peace, but that's coming to attractions. I'm kind of liking this part. Let's see here. Thriving people experience frequent laughter. Not only their own, but laughter of the people around them. Everyday life is hilarious. Even bad things, even sad things, or things that make you feel a little stinky can be funny. I remember when my memory stuff first started out, it was a hot summer day, and I was in my house, and the wife had bought a watermelon and brought it home to me, and I didn't know if the watermelon was good, so I only took half a slice. See, I was going to see if it was good enough for me to eat a whole slice. And I ate that half slice, and a little later on, I thought, man, this slice was really good. I'm going to get another half slice. So I went to the refrigerator, and I opened it up. There was no watermelon in that refrigerator. And I thought for a minute. Now at that time, my youngest son was in high school. Our whole basement was like his apartment. He had a wet bar, no alcohol that I know of, a pool table, big TV, couch, a bedroom for himself, and another one for a guest. Ha! And I went down there because I knew he was messing with me because he's kind of playful and a prankster. And I went down there and I looked in his refrigerator, and there was no watermelon in there. And he was over on his computer. Nice summer days playing baseball on a machine. I'm going to let that slide for a minute. And I said, "Where's my watermelon?" And he started laughing at me, like the guard said. He started laughing at me. I said, "You're laughing because you hid my watermelon?" He said, "No, Dad, I'm laughing because you've lost one." And I looked all over. I couldn't find that watermelon. The wife wasn't there at that time, so I thought maybe she took it for a drive, but that wasn't the case. So later that night, I gave up on the watermelon thing. I let it go. And I have a lot of hard time sleeping sometimes, and for a while I thought chamomile tea would help with that. So I went to make myself a cup of chamomile tea, put some water in the cup, went to put the cup in the microwave. Guess what was in the microwave? That's right, a watermelon. And I could not help but laugh. And of course everyone else laughed for some reason. Now part of me is still not sure that the wife didn't put that in there, but still, even with that shock, even with that failure of mine, I was able to laugh at it, and the rest of my family was sure as hell able to laugh at it, and both of them are still telling the story, and that was over 15 years ago. Uh-oh. Oh, we run out of time during the story? Well, we're going to give you one bonus one anyway. That should have piqued your interest. Last one. Every human being experiences times when they're bitter about something. The different way that most thrivers handle that is they're just bitter for a little while. They stay bitter for a little while. And then they treat that bitterness like food. If it's bitter, spit it out. Now that's enough of those things for today. I have to put them in the other bucket for the things that have been used. We still got more. Here comes today's aphorism. Remember, that's a pithy statement containing a general truth. And by the way, don't confuse anything you've heard here today, or will hear as I go on, for the truth. It's just stuff I believe. I realized somewhere in my teenage years that I was the oldest I'd ever been, and that I was the smartest I'd ever been. You might see how I came to the conclusion that I must be old and smart. My grabbing onto that belief and holding it dear was proof that I wasn't either one of those damn things. Now, there's a lot more thriving tendencies, but we might come back to those in future episodes. Next time, we're going to steal a page out of Sesame Street. The next episode, episode 6, will be brought to you by the letter C. And we talk about things like cooperation, conflict, comfort, confrontation, and if we do real well with that, a week later we'll do the letter F. Tune in then. Just want you to know that any rebroadcast, retransmission, or reproduction of this podcast or its contents without the written express consent of me is considered flattering. There is just one us. Thank you.